We are going to be joined today by the wonderful, talented, beautiful, artistic Megan Vangelist. Megan and I had such fun in the office few years back. Now we both work remote from home, and but we definitely bonded over our love for books and babies alike. Specifically, her baby, who is now in kindergarten, which I cannot believe. I used to snuggle the heck out of those cute little pudgy cheeks, but. So now he's a big boy and he's in kindergarten, and she has two other daughters, Rachel, who's in fifth grade, and I can't remember your other daughter's name. What's your oldest daughter's name?
Braylee, and
Ray.
she is a sophomore this year, so
Oh, how do
yeah.
you even handle that? That is just crazy to me. I can't even think about my baby being in high school.
Yeah, it's surprising. They grow too fast.
Yeah, it's so true. And the other thing that Megan and I bonded over, as I mentioned, was books. And so I was asking Megan about has she read any good books lately? And she was telling me that her Goodreads is overflowing with books. So, and we were making mention of the fact that, for book lovers like us, normal people, they want, like jewelry and shoes and purses, normal girls for Christmas. We're like, yeah, just give me like 3 hours and a Kindle and I'm
Yeah,
good. Like time alone with a book, yeah, that's a good day to me.
yep.
So,
It's a mini vacation.
exactly. So what book are you most currently reading or have read recently that you really loved?
I just finished The Help, which was
Oh,
I had saw the movie, but the book was wonderful. Um, and I tend to read books that my daughter reads. She's in fifth grade, so I try to keep on top of books that she reads, also to make sure they're age appropriate before
exactly.
she reads them. So I actually just read Serafina and the Black Cloak because that was one she wanted to read, and it was actually really good. So,
That's awesome. Well, for all you moms and dads and maybe even grandmas and grandpas out there, that's a good little plug for a nice book that you could get for the little one in your life.
hmm
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about Spotlight on Seasons and setting up your year for success. Now, Megan has done a fantastic job with these slides, and she's going to give me cues on when to move them and all that kind of stuff. But go ahead and take some notes if you need to. But these slides are actually with all of Megan's notes. They are going to be available on our blog tomorrow, www.virtualresortmanager.com/blog. Those will be posted up there tomorrow, so you can have the complete printout of what Megan's talked about, as well as the recording of this webinar, which we are doing right now. So go ahead, get ready for some awesome seasons information. And if you guys have any questions throughout the webinar, just go ahead and pop those in the questions box. And then at the end of the webinar, when Megan's done, I'll make sure that those questions get answered for you. So if there's anything that you need help with, now is the time to put those questions into the box. All right, so go right ahead, Megan. We're going to get jumping in.
okay. All right. So today, going over setting up your year for success, creating your seasons and getting your rates input, and getting those 2017 reservations updated and ready for the next year. So the first slide here is creating your seasons, and to create your new seasons you go to the system configuration and then company. Okay, so you can go to the next one. Yeah. Okay, so the first thing is you select the seasons tab, and then you're going to select your season group in the box and then choose the seasons button that's highlighted. Properties applied to the season group should have the same season dates and rules. If there's a property that doesn't follow those same dates and same rules, they need to have their own season group. And if you already have multiple season groups, you will have to create the seasons for each of those groups. So you'll click on New, and this will open up the box that will allow you to enter your dates. So the first thing you'll want to do is you'll create your name, and this could be any naming that helps you identify what this season is. So the first thing is you give it a start day and an end day, and just please remember to not overlap those season dates. For example, if the season that you had before ended on December 31, your next season needs to start on January 1, and the next season after that should begin on the day after your season ends. So the enforced start day, this is the box that you can check, and if this box is checked, it will enforce the turn day that is set up at the property level and only allow your guests to booking online to start their reservation on that day. So for example, if you have Saturday set as that turn day, it's going to only allow them to book starting on a Saturday. Oh, and the enforce weekly, if that box is checked, it will only allow weekly reservations online, so guests could book 7, 14, 21-day reservations. Now each property that's in this season group, it needs to follow these rules. If you have just one property that doesn't want to enforce the start day or the weekly, that property needs to have its own season group. And once you've entered the names, the dates, chosen whether to check the enforced start day and weekly, make sure to click Save, and then you will have to continue those steps until you've entered your seasons for your whole year. Okay, so once you've entered your seasons, your next step is entering your rates. And to create a new rate group or to enter rates in an existing rate group, you go to Properties and then Rates. And to create a new rate group, you choose the season group in the box, and then you click the New button. This will pop up the box that will allow you to enter a name for this rate group, and then just make sure to click Save. You'll select your season group in the box, and then this will populate over here the rate groups, and you choose the rate group that you want to enter the rates for. You click on the Rates button after you have chosen your rate group. You'll have to scroll down until you find the new seasons that you have created, and then you can enter your daily, weekly, and monthly rates. Just make sure to click the Update button or they won't save. And so after you've done that, you'll follow those steps until you have entered all of your rates in your rate groups. Setting up your minimum days and your turn days, there are two ways to do this. The first way I'm going to go over is setting the minimum days under the properties and the managed properties. This is the best way to set the minimum days if you have different days for each property and each season group or season dates. You first choose your office, and then you'll choose your property, and you'll click on the Manage Attributes button. You'll choose the Minimum Day, Turn Day tab, and again you'll have to scroll down to find your new seasons that you have created. Then you can change the minimum days and the turn days to whatever you want those to be, and make sure that you click Apply. The second option for updating those minimum days and turn days is under Properties and Rates. And this option is best if you have multiple properties that have the same minimum days and the same turn day for the same season dates. So you'll choose the Minimum Turn Day tab, and then you'll choose your office from the drop down, and then you'll select your season group in the box below that. You can check the properties in the box that you want to update, and then you'll go and you can change the minimum day to whatever number you want it to be. You can change your turn day, and then of course once you're done you'll click apply. The do not change that is showing, that simply means that it will not change what is currently set for the season if you leave that selected. And new seasons automatically set as a one-night minimum with a turn day of Saturday when they are created. So after you have done all of that, the next step is to update your hold date. And you do this by going to System Configuration and then Financial. So you choose the Holds tab, and then you change the hold date to the next day after the last season date. So if you set your last season date to end on December 31, then you need to change the hold date to January 1 of the following year. And just make sure to click Save. Now once you have set your hold date, this will allow you can now book 2017 reservations through your admin console, and guests can now book full reservations online. The last item to do to get your 2017 hold reservations updated to reservations is to run the batch update. Only run this after you have entered all the seasons, the rates for the next year, and change the hold date. And do not run it more than once, because if you do, if you run it again, it will override any manual changes that you have made to the reservation. So if you've changed the rent or you have added a discount, those will go back to what the system has set. And once you are ready to do this, if you want to send in a ticket or give us a call at Help Desk, we will be more than happy to walk you through this process. So to do this, you go to Batch Update is under the Reservations Batch Update tab. And the first thing that you do is you choose the office that you want to update. The hold date will automatically pull from what is set up under your System Config Financial. The date from, this would be the date that you want to start updating reservations from. The date to, you can leave this blank if you want to update the entire year. The new date required by, this is the date that you want them to have their down payments paid by. The travel insurance. This drop down gives you the option to choose your travel insurance to add those to those reservations. Same with the damage deposit. This is the drop down where you can choose your damage deposit waiver that you want to put on these reservations. The reservation fee changed. If this box, you get the yes or the no. If you choose no, you can leave the new res fee box. You can leave that at 0. If yes, you want to enter what the new reservation fee amount is in that box. And once you have entered all that information, you'll scroll down and you'll see the blue button that says Update Reservations. Now, depending on how many reservations that you have, this could take a little bit to run, a couple minutes to run. Once it's completed, it'll pull up a report that you can then save and use that to review those reservations. It'll show you everything that has been updated on those reservations. And that is all there is for getting your new year set up for success.
Awesome. That was so wonderful, Megan. Thank you so much. There was so much information in there, and it was really helpful. And I know that when you're doing your seasons, because you only, we talked about this yesterday, but when you only do them once a year, it can be really hard to remember all the
Mhm.
steps and make sure you get them all correct. So I just want to open the floor for any questions that you guys might have, whether they be specific or, a little bit more generalized. Go right ahead, pop those into the GoToWebinar questions button down there on your GoToWebinar panel. I did get one question here. It's from Patty Duckett, and she says, "What is color class on the creating seasons?"
The color class at one point in time was used for one of our clients, but it actually, at this point in time, it doesn't really do anything. It's kind of just a blank thing, so you can just ignore that when you're creating those seasons.
All right, awesome. I think that was all the questions that we had today. My GoToWebinar is being a little bit funny and not letting me reply to you, Patty, but thank you so much for your question. We really appreciate it. And if anybody has any other questions, you can always email help@vrmgr.com. We're more than happy to answer any questions. And I have to say, the thing that I've heard over and over again about the VRM employees is that we have such a good help desk system. And I have to just applaud our help desk girls, Lauren and Michelle and Megan. They are absolutely tireless when it comes to the help desk and making sure that your questions get answered. So if ever you have any problems, just make sure that you send a little ticket over to them. They're more than happy to get back to you. And I'm going to just take a moment and announce our next two webinars for 2016, and that's going to finish out our 2016 year with Tea with Brittany Lee, which is really exciting for me. This is our 15th webinar with Tea with Brittany Lee, which was really, I couldn't even believe it. So how to make an ironclad marketing plan for your most successful year yet. We have a awesome SEO specialist at VRM as well as myself, and we work together on the marketing team here at VRM, and that's kind of my day job. This is my thing I do for fun that Pete lets me do for fun. So but we are going to talk about all of the things that you need to know for digital marketing to make sure that you have a really successful 2017. We noticed that a lot of our clients were having really rough 2016, and we were like, we don't want that for 2017. We want to give everybody some proven strategies that are going to really help them increase online marketing in 2017. So make sure that you get over to this webinar. If you want to register, all you have to do is go to this little bit.ly link right down here, bit.ly/TWBL 2016, or you can go to the Virtual Resort Manager website and you can see that right there. But our SEO specialist, Saad, is going to be on the line and ready to answer questions, so highly suggest that you come with questions at the ready. And then our last webinar of 2016 is going to be amazing 1099 tips that will make your life easier this tax season. We're going to have Michelle Smith joining us again this year. She did one last year, and this year she's coming back. She's going to give us all the tips on how to do your 1099s quickly and painlessly through VRM. And she's going to give us all the buttons to click, all the right things to do. She'll be here to answer questions. So make sure you register for that webinar as well. You can click that little bit.ly link right down here, and I'll have these both in the recap blog tomorrow, so you guys can feel free to click on those, register early, and save your spot. And just as one last little side note, next week I am going to be in Chandler, Arizona at the VRMA show. If any of you guys are going to be there, please, please, please send me an email, Brittany at virtualresortmanager.com, and that's Brittany at virtualresortmanager.com. Let me know you're going to be there so that we can have lunch. We're actually reserving tables to have lunch with people. Mike Mueller and Leslie and myself, we're all going to be there. We would love to meet you guys and talk to you, and I would love to have an actual physical cup of tea with you guys if you are available for that, or coffee if you're into that kind of thing. So if you're going to be there, make sure that you reach out. I'll be more than happy to hang out and have a little bit of lunch and talk shop with you guys. So that wraps everything for this month's Tea with Brittany Lee. Thank you all so much again for coming out. Really appreciate that. And if you have any topic suggestions for us, feel free to send those over to Brittany at virtualresortmanager.com as well. I'm always happy to hear from my clients that like Tea with Brittany Lee. So thank you again, Megan, so much for coming out today. I really appreciate your time and all of your energy. It was awesome. You did a great job, and hope everybody has a really awesome Thursday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.